This is Professor Polyp's Bubble Bath, and it's a coral dip that takes a pretty different approach than most of the dips reefers have been using for years. In fact, it's a coral dip that can also be dosed directly into the aquarium to help address nuisance algae. Instead of relying primarily on oils, iodine-based formulas, or potassium permanganate, Bubble Bath is built around a patent-pending hydrogen peroxide and limonene-based oxidizing solution designed to target both common coral pests and nuisance algae at the same time. At its core, Bubble Bath is a coral dip used before new corals enter the tank, helping reduce the risk of introducing hitchhikers that may cause problems later. That includes things like flatworms, nudibranchs, redbugs, bristleworms, isopods, and even Asterina stars that sometimes show up hiding in frag plugs or coral bases. Like other coral dips, the goal here is to deal with those pests before they ever make it into the display tank. Where Bubble Bath separates itself from a lot of other dips is in how it works. Most coral dips rely on ingredients that irritate pests and encourage them to release from the coral, which allows you to rinse them away. Bubble Bath takes a slightly different approach. The formula combines hydrogen peroxide and limonene along with vinegar, RODI water, and sodium hydroxide, creating an oxidizing reaction that you'll actually see happening during the dip as bubbles form on the coral and frag plug. Because of that oxidizing chemistry, it's designed to break down cellular structures in both plant and animal irritants, which means it can help deal with things like hair algae or bubble algae that sometimes come in attached to frag plugs. So it's not just targeting pests, it's also helping clean up some of the unwanted hitchhikers that come in on the plug itself. According to the manufacturer, the formula is gentle on corals and anemones, which is why it can also be dosed directly to the aquarium to help address nuisance algae. Using it as a coral dip is pretty straightforward. You mix 1 part Bubble Bath with 5 parts tank water. Place the coral in the dip for about 1 minute, and then rinse the coral in clean salt water before moving it into your tank or quarantine system. During the dip, you'll often see bubbles forming on the coral or frag plug, which is part of the oxidation reaction happening in the solution. If you're using it to help address nuisance algae directly in the aquarium, the bottle recommends first removing carbon from the system, then dosing 1.5 to 2.5 milliliters per 10 gallons of water twice daily. Some reefers may begin to see improvements in around 2 weeks, with more complete results often showing up after 6 to 8 weeks. So if you're someone who likes to be really proactive about coral inspection and dipping, this is another tool that can fit nicely into that process. Having a dip that targets both pests and nuisance algae can add an extra layer of protection before new corals ever make it into your tank. Professor Polyp's Bubble Bath is now available on the Bulk Reef Supply website in 16-ounce and 32-ounce bottles, as well as a 1-gallon jug. So if you're looking for a different approach to coral dipping, it's definitely one worth checking out.